Welcome back. New guidelines from DHEC are out, urging most people now to get screened for COVID-19 at least once a month, even if you have no reason to believe you have the virus. And DHEC stressing that this is really important among our children. Medical professionals are comparing it to showing up at your doctor for a routine checkup.
There are also several other new guidelines with this. Fox Carolina's Matt Koufax joins us live from Parkside Pediatrics in Greenville with more.
Yeah, Tori, Cody, experts are telling me that this is essential, like you said, because of the reason that people should be getting accustomed to being tested proactively, more often even, due to asymptomatic spread. Doctors I spoke to here at Parkside Pediatrics, and you can see they've got their COVID testing tent out behind me in the parking lot. They tell me that this phenomenon of asymptomatic spread is particularly evident in our children who are now back in school in greater numbers than ever before. Dr. Nathan Heffington with Parkside Pediatrics and Dr. Christian Montagano with Emergency MD say that especially lately, asymptomatic spread of COVID-19 is common.
A lot of the infections, at least that we're coming across now in our practice, are patients that are asymptomatic.
They think at least maybe 1 in 5 COVID cases are asymptomatic.
DHEC says people who are out in the community regularly, even if they take precautions, should get tested at least once a month because of this. But what does being out regularly mean?
If that's something where your normal pattern is, you work in a place in schools, teachers, students, those kinds of things where they're just around other people a greater percentage of the time than once in a while, then that's who this is kind of talking to.
Heffington warns schools aren't the only example for both kids and adults. It's really any situation where you're regularly around others no matter your age. Montagano adds that kids are just better sometimes at concealing COVID-19. With many counties sending more kids back, it's fresh on their minds.
A lot of them now are asymptomatic carriers, and a lot of them are in school now, coming in contact with other kids and then potentially bringing it home asymptomatic to their older relatives.
Screening periodically is something both doctors say will save lives.
We get the story all the time, when we call somebody to tell them they're positive, it's like, I have no idea where I got. We've been home and no one's been sick, and we don't know anyone that's been sick.
We may catch some positives, which we could isolate these people and flatten the curve, as everyone says. DHEC's new guidelines also mention that if you test positive, you might not need to get tested again for another 3 months. Now, those doctors who I spoke to today tell me that's not necessarily the case. The jury is still out on how long you retain antibodies, how you get these antibodies. They're still learning a lot more about that. So if you start feeling symptomatic with COVID-19-like symptoms again before that 3-month period is up, they say go back, get tested. In Greenville tonight, Matt Koufax, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.